What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Redemption with Jaden. We're now on to Lackey Grand Prix 19 round 2, and this round is going to be against Ryan Greeson, who is a new person on the channel. There's someone who has not been on my channel before, so that's always fun. I don't get that super often these days, just because it's a lot of the same people playing in the Lackey Grand Prix. And also, I mean, the channel's just been around for a little while, so most of the people that I play have been on the channel at least once or multiple times before, just because we got a lot of people that have played on here now. So, anyways, welcome to Ryan, I guess, for being on the channel. Not that you necessarily, I mean, I guess you had a choice. You could have said that you'd rather not record the game, but we got paired up in the Lackey Grand Prix and got to play. So that is what we're going to be watching today, and I've got kind of a special brew for this game that you might be looking at this deck and thinking like, Jaden, this doesn't look super special. Like you're just, you're playing Disciples. You've got a lot of Disciples in there. You've got a lot of purple, which, is a little unusual, but your defense is kind of normal-ish. And you might be thinking, okay, what's so special about this deck? Well, I want to ask you a question before we get into that. How many of you have seen or even rescued a lost soul potentially with Primary Objective, this old school Angel Wars card? I know, sorry Hendrix, close your eyes, plug your ears, whatever you need to do, but this is one of the very first alternate win condition sort of cards in Redemption. In fact, I think it might be the first non-dominant card. So like, it's not Son of God or New Jerusalem or old school New Jerusalem, which lets you rescue an additional soul. This one, I believe, is the first card other than that to have, or allow you to just directly rescue a lost soul on the card. I could be wrong about that, but this one is definitely very old. Probably it's almost 20 years old now. By I suppose it'll be 20 years old at this point. So this one says, making a rescue attempt, discard hand, minimum 7 cards, and select a lost soul in opponent's land of bondage. Opponent must discard hand or holder rescues that lost soul. Battle continues as a battle challenge. Now, there are some ways in which this can be good. If your opponent's hand is protected, then that's kind of nice because then they can't discard their hand, so you can just discard your hand to rescue a lost soul. However, there's also some drawbacks. The fact that you have to have 7 cards in hand, so it's not like you can just play all the other cards out of your hand and then discard your hand, or your hand of 0 or 1 or 2 cards, whatever. The other downside is that if your opponent doesn't have hand protection, which, believe it or not, was less common back then than it is now, then your opponent could just discard their hand if they really need to stop you from rescuing the lost soul. Sometimes they would maybe see it coming, although it really didn't get played that much. If they did see it coming, then maybe they'd play out a few dominants before they let you play it. And if they don't need to discard their hand, then they can just let you rescue the lost soul, and then you don't have a hand to do things with. So certainly a strange card, or like it didn't always work. There were maybe some decks that would actually try to use it. Mostly I saw it in Type 2, if at all, and I think I tried it in Type 2 a few times, but definitely not the strongest of alternate rescue condition cards. And you've seen the Cross, you've seen Eternal Inheritance, you've maybe even seen the Lamb's Righteousness one that I've played that on the channel a few times here. But one that I have never played, I have never seen actually rescue a lost soul, is Sow, Reap, and Rejoice. And this one is actually fairly similar to Primary Objective because it says if your Disciple or anti-gold hero is alone and opposed during a rescue attempt, and you have fewer redeemed souls than opponent, you may discard your hand to rescue the hero in battle. So again, you have to discard your hand. However, there's no minimum requirement for this one. And also, your hero doesn't have to be alone, or I guess your hero does have to be alone and opposed. I don't know what I was saying there. You have to discard your hand, but your opponent doesn't have an option to do something else instead. So if you get to play it and you meet the conditions, then you do get to rescue a card. However, you also have to have fewer redeemed souls than your opponent. It also has to be during your rescue attempt, so no, side battle shenanigans or battle challenge stuff going on here. So it is a very limited card, and I think it would be playable if it, okay, I'm playing it, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's playable. I think it would be playable if it didn't have the fewer redeemed souls than opponent clause. However, if it didn't have that, then it might be too playable. In fact, I think it would almost certainly be too playable. And so I don't think that you can quite get away with that. And so you kind of have to figure out if there's a way, if you want to play this, you have to figure out if there's a way to make it so that discarding your hand, even when you're behind, is not as big of a cost. And hadn't really, I mean, I had looked at this card before and tried to figure out if there was a way to make it work. The big downside is that, like, even if you're down, that probably means that you haven't played your Son of God and Second Coming yet. And if you haven't done that, then if they're in your hand, then you would have to discard them. And obviously that's not ideal unless you're, playing old school Angel at the Tomb or something like that. Probably not, it's a classic card. So we're not playing that in rotation. So that means that if you have Son of God and Second Coming in your hand and you can't play them and then use this to rescue the fifth lost soul, because then you're not going to have fewer redeemed souls. If you have 4 lost souls, you're not going to have fewer than your opponent, unless your opponent has already won, in which case you're not playing this anyway. So how do you actually use this card to try to win a game is the question. And the way that we're going to do that is kind of now made possible by this card, Prosperity, which is actually pretty similar to the old one. So maybe you could do this before a rotation, but if I can spell it here, I'll bring it up. Prosperity, draw 3 cards and add to your hand. But this one says at the end of battle, you may place any cards from your hand back on top of your draw pile. And then there was also Book of Hosea, which kind of had a similar, why did you do that? Kind of had a similar thing, but it was during your discard phase. So holder may draw 3 cards and play the next enhancement. During discard phase, holder may return any cards from hand to the top of draw pile. So we didn't really have a way. So yeah, I guess Prosperity wouldn't have worked in, the old school Prosperity wouldn't have even worked because it top decked at the end of battle. I mean, you would have to like wait and time it out right. And it just, it wouldn't quite work. But the new one, you may draw 3 and top deck any number of cards from hand. So if you really wanted to, you could play Prosperity, draw 3, and then just put every card in your hand back on top, except for Sow, Reap, and Rejoice. You can discard your hand of 0 cards and you still get to rescue the hero in battle. However, my thought was if I can get my opponent to play their dominance first, and I'm playing a fairly light defense, so if they rescue some souls early on, it's not really that big of a deal. And that way they can get to 3 or 4 lost souls, and then if I'm at 2, and hopefully I have my Son of God and Second Coming that I've been holding on to, then I can play Prosperity, draw 3, top deck at least Son of God and Second Coming, maybe a few other cards as well, and then play Sow, Reap, and Rejoice to rescue the hero in battle, and then have some way to then draw cards after my hero has been rescued, which can be a little bit difficult on your turn to do that either in your discard phase or during the battle still. But it's actually not too difficult with this deck. We have a few ways to do that. So of course, Denarius and 4 Drachma Coin are just kind of the standard staples that you're going to be playing if you're in Disciples, if you're playing Emperors, or well, this card just kind of goes in and then you play Emperors because of it. But these are just fairly straightforward, just draw cards that you want to use in your deck. And if you're save one of them for this part of the strategy or this part of the game, then you can use the manually triggered ability on either Denarius or 4 Drachma Coin to draw back into your Son of God or Second Coming. You can also, there are a couple other ways to do it. So because So Reap and Rejoice doesn't actually end the battle, if your opponent is still in battle, they still have a character in battle, then you can still add to the battle. I believe when you rescue the hero in battle, it does automatically change it to a battle challenge because it considers the battle or the rescue attempt as successful at that point, or there's some clause in the REG that's like once you rescue a card with a card in battle, then it turns that into a battle challenge, or you can't rescue something else, something like that. But anyway, you can still add to the battle. The battle is still going on. It doesn't end the battle. So if you have, say, sent 2x2, which says while an evil character is in battle, you can discard this card to add up to 2 disciples to battle. Or a good seed, while an evil character is in battle, you can reserve it to add your anti-human hero to battle. Then you can add a hero like Judas Iscariot, John the Fisherman, Matthew the Publican. You could add Matthias, but then you only get one of them, so it's not as good. But yeah, Judas, John, and Matthew are going to be kind of the go-tos, and the way that you can then draw back into your Son of God and Second Coming, play those, get to 5, bada bing, bada boom, you win the game, hooray. And you did So Reap and Rejoice to do it. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be like the strategy or the easiest way to win, but this was the best way that I could find to actually make this card work in a sense. And I thought, it was kind of clever. Let's try it out. If there's a way that it could work, or a time for So Reap and Rejoice to come out, I think it's now, with Prosperity being an option. So Prosperity, though, being purple, also So Reap and Rejoice being purple, you do have to go on the purple side of Disciples, which, are a little bit more difficult to play, but they actually have some cool tricks that you can do that you can't run with the clay stuff. So things like, I guess you can, but it's just you usually don't, or it's not as good. But yeah, I Am He, Reach of Desperation, Walking on Water, these are all like great cards that I guess Reach Clay has an equivalent of that, so that's not that great. But I Am He and Walking on Water especially are both pretty good cards. They're just not really played because the purple side on Disciples is not used as much. However, the Walking on Water doesn't have to be in a Disciples deck. That can be in any purple deck and do pretty well. It almost made it into my Purple Warriors deck, but just the way that I had the deck built, didn't really need it. So also great star abilities of getting Lost Soul from the deck, and then also looking at a hand. I Am He, just very strong, getting that blanket protection that's during your prep phase, so that it's interrupt the battle doesn't work, and it's very hard to negate otherwise. So it's basically like old school Thaddeus or something, where you're just like protected and your opponent can't do anything about it. So that is pretty strong. And then of course we've got Authority of Christ in here, because if you're playing Disciples, you're going to want to run Authority of Christ. However, it only is CBN if used by a Meek Disciple, so on the purple side, it's not quite as good. Bartholomew can still make it CBN, and you can still, convert some of your heroes to Meek if you have the right opportunity, and you're just planning to play Authority of Christ. But other than that, I don't really have any clay enhancements in here, other than, Good Seed and Disciples of the Lamb in reserve as well, because if we're getting cute with So Reap and Rejoice, we might as well go in all the way. Playing all the Disciples, we got 3 of them in reserve here, which I didn't actually put that many ways to get them out. So Send the Helper, and let's see, there's one guy that gets them from reserve, right? Or is that... no, I don't think any of them get them from reserve. So, but Walking on Water is a way, and Angel from the Sun is another way. I could have figured out more ways to get them out. I guess crowd's choice. I probably would if I was really kind of leaning more on the Disciples of the Lamb, or maybe I would switch out one of the heroes into the main deck for like I Am He or something like that, but or Authority of Christ. But I liked these star abilities and didn't really think I needed to go for Disciples of the Lamb necessarily, or like that wasn't the goal, but in a better version of the deck might have done that. But anyways, that is kind of it doesn't really matter, but you only need to get 2 of them out if you have your other 10 Disciples. So if you want to get there, you could probably get there. Anyways, and then you can get them back with the Eternal Covenant. I put that in here. So the way that we're gonna try to kind of get behind in this deck so that So Reap and Rejoice can actually work is primarily going to be just running the most annoying Lost Souls possible so that your opponent will want to play their Son of God and Second Coming early on to actually get ahead and to take out those Lost Souls. So we're going to be running stuff like Accusers, because if you run into a Joshua or Warriors deck or something, they're going to want to deal with Accusers. Crowds, because they want to get at your hand. Distressed, because they want their stuff to work. Humble, because they don't want your stuff to be CBP. Lost Souls, if they want to stop you from generate tokens, if they're trying to hide souls. Orphans, also, if they're trying to hide or protect Lost Souls. Woman of Thebes is out there in great numbers, so orphans can be an annoying one for people to deal with. And then Prosperity, well, that's more just for me for trying to accelerate through things a little bit. This deck is pretty fast. It is at 50 cards, so it's fairly efficient, very light on defense, because I wanted to get all of the Disciples in here, and also because I'm trying to generally let my opponent get ahead a little bit. I'm not necessarily going to play suboptimally so that, or such that they just get freebies, but the deck is built in such a way where I'm not necessarily going to have the best blocking power, but I'll definitely make them use some resources, getting through some protected characters, or Herod the Great with Herod's Temple, or a Saul of Tarsus with Unsuccessful or Scattered, something like that. So definitely lots of annoying options with the Lost Souls here, and also just kind of some acceleration, typical stuff that you would expect with a New Testament or Disciples offense with the dominance here. Grapes, because I'm kind of playing on the Redeemed Soul advantage, or I guess disadvantage thing in the deck here, so might as well double down on that. And then Mayhem to kind of accelerate things out. Got lots of heroes and characters that we can put down, so Mayhem can help to get things rolling. And that was something that I kind of wanted to make sure that I got through got through all the cards that I needed in order to get things set up. Found my Prosperity, found my ways to get out So Reap and Rejoice and such like that. Also, one of the notes, So Reap and Rejoice has a few ways to get it out, Send the Helper kind of being one of the main ones, and New Covenant, I guess, also being one of the main ones. However, my personal favorite, I guess, is Walking on Water, because then you can do it kind of out of nowhere without your opponent expecting it. If you Send the Helper or New Covenant, then they're going to be able to see your So Reap and Rejoice before you play it. However, Walking on Water lets you just surprise it out. However, you do have to have a good dominant that you're going to be willing to discard, though, at that point, because you're going to want to have already played your Prosperity. So at that point, hopefully you have like your Grapes, or maybe your Crowd's Choice or something, if you haven't used it yet, that you can reveal with Walking on Water to add So Reap and Rejoice to battle. Be willing to discard it, because you're going to win the game anyway, so you don't need it anymore. But that's not always going to work. Oh, also Good Seed is another way to get it out. So that is, other than that, just it's a fairly straightforward Purple Disciples with some Roman stuff defense. The defense maybe could be something different if you really wanted to or needed to. Denarius was just the kind of main way that I wanted to, or like one of the main ways, I guess, to draw into your dominance after you play So Reap and Rejoice. And so I wanted to have at least a couple Emperors in here, because early game, if you're planning to use Denarius right away, you probably only need one Emperor in the main deck, and then you get your cards and go for it. But if I'm kind of banking on having Denarius available in the late game in some cases, then I wanted to have a couple Emperors in here. And if I was going to have at least two, then figured I might as well just be in gray instead of kind of splash with something else. So that is pretty much everything for the deck here. One thing that I forgot to prepare is the Your Turn Games sponsor part of the video here, but we're always ready to just shout out our sponsors over at Your Turn Games here. So boom, smooth transition. And before we get into the game, just a quick shout out to our sponsors over at Your Turn Games. They have plenty of redemption supplies for you to check out if you like this deck and you are like, oh, I don't own a So Reap and Rejoice because why would I own one? Then you might have to head on over to Your Turn Games and go search their singles for something like your So Reap and Rejoice or whatever else it is that you want to be building. So head on over to there to grab all of your redemption supplies, whether it's a singles, starter decks, play mats, sleeves, all that kind of stuff. You can get it at Your Turn Games. So head on over there. And now, without further ado, let's get into the game with Ryan.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, well.
Oh, lots of souls out right away. All right, well, I rolled a 1, so...
Well.
See if you can beat that. Oh, there we go, we tied. All right, moment of truth, though.
Okay, well.
The double 1, then the double 6. Hey, all right, we got there. Third time's the charm. That's funny. I guess I will choose to go first here, I think. Seems like the right play. I've got no star abilities I want to activate.
I do have one. Virgin Birth, look at the top 6, underdeck to take one.
Seems good.
Not exactly what I want. I guess I'll take her.
All right. The Woman of the Bez. Okay. Then my souls, I guess I will make a token here. Let's do it for myself. And get crowds on, accusers on. And
Okay. My disoriented will negate that one, crowds.
Yep.
I will give you a token. I'll search deck for an evil character.
Yep.
Let's see. We'll get the Deceiver.
Yep.
And I will discard.
Just discard the Deceiver. You don't need that one.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. We'll discard that to draw 2. Oh, much better. Okay.
Joshua's sword. Okay. Well, Joshua Canaanites action going on here, perhaps.
I am all set when you are.
All right. Will take us away. Let's put down an artifact here. And I think, yeah, I think I'm good to just go and go right into battle, if that's cool with you.
Yep.
All right, let's do Reassuring Angels. We'll go find ourselves everybody's favorite Matthew.
Oh, well, that's not good.
And I think I'm going to reveal a good dominant here. Reveal crowd's choice. Keep him as purple, and we'll take a look at your hand. That you filled it up with all these extra cards, yeah. All right, so I see 2 good and 3 evil. 5 total.
Yep.
So I get a little Moabites and gray stuff in there too. And then a glory. Okay. I will draw 5. Found a distressed. And that's it for Matthew. I guess he also gained clay from Reassuring Angels, so I should denote that.
Is that clay on him permanent or just for this battle?
It is permanent until he leaves play. So I should say gained clay, I suppose. So yeah, he's clay purple, non-converted Matthew, and yeah, that's it for my attack.
Okay. I think we'll just keep it simple. Close that. Ooh, okay. Never mind. That makes things a bit more complicated. I don't like this.
Good day to play accusers, I guess.
Oh, wait a minute. This will work. No, it won't. It's turn 1. That sucks. Man. Accuser sucks. Okay, well, I'll block with Emperor Claudius. Let's see what he can do.
Alrighty.
Protect him from dominance and New Testament heroes.
Yeah. Seems pretty good. And then you've got that negate as well. So I think that's worth it. I think I've got enough stuff in here to find. So I'll do a good crowd's choice here. And let's do with that negate. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, I think I will get Reach of Desperation. My initiative.
Yes.
All right. We'll play Reach. Interrupt the battle. Draw 3. Didn't exactly find what we're looking for, so I will not play an enhancement, but I will play the Resurrection. And we'll go find Peter and Herod's Temple. And with the band, let's bring in Peter, bring in John, and let's bring in Judas. So John, I guess we can do that first because Peter's band has to wait. So I will reveal the Second Coming to toss the next evil enhancement and draw 2. Got a Prosperity. With all these cards, I can probably figure out something to discard, I suppose. Let's discard. Guess you're playing Old Testament, so I'm going to discard my Emperor Claudius.
Okay.
Draw 2. And then Judas will also draw 2. And then Peter can band. Let's do...
Okay. I don't know when this happens officially, but your Deuteronomy or your prosperity adds another token for you.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Sure. That'll go after Peter's band here.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, all good. So he's still protected. Yeah, I guess we'll just do Bartholomew. I will show you the Second Coming again to make Gospel Enhancements CBN. We'll convert him to Meek to play a Lost Soul from my deck. It's going to be Orphans. That seems like it might come in handy at some point. And that is, yeah, okay, so now the tokens can trigger. You can make another one if you want to.
Yeah, might as well.
All right, and I will make, oops, that's the wrong one. I will make a couple for you as well. Actually, we'll just make them for me. I want all the tokens. Token hoarder. All right. So resurrection is done. And let's move this out of the way. All right. So I believe it is now your initiative. I played the last, but it's stalemate still. So.
Hmm.
And the
All right,
next evil is being tossed.
Yeah, I will pass.
All right. I'm going to play Good Seed. Currently CBN. Or make it CBN, I guess, because of Bart. That's your initiative again.
I will pass.
All right. Well, now I suppose I will play 3 woes to negate Emperor Claudius.
Oh, well, that's no fun.
Helps knowing that you only have 1 evil enhancement in hand, but it's definitely a lot to burn.
All right, well, I will die and give you prosperity.
Sweet. All right. Let's put down Thomas. Put down another artifact. Put down Matthias and James. And I'm down to 8, so I will pass the turn.
Oh, fun. More souls.
Hey.
Yeah. I'll give you another one of those. You seem
Sweet.
to like them.
I will not make any more here. It's probably good for now.
Okay. I will use Teaching and Parable star abilities to reserve the top card of your deck.
Sure. It is Patmos.
Let's see. Jeez, that sucks. I will play 3 woes. 3 woes as evil.
Mm-hmm.
And I will negate your Thomas.
Yep.
Okay, I will activate Joshua's Covenant to exchange a card from hand with the Joshua card from deck.
Yep.
Put that in there. I'll take Promised Land.
Seems pretty good.
Then I'll go ahead and play it to take a card from your hands.
Assume you want to put a hero down first.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it needs Unity.
Yeah, go for it. That's fine.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Getting my crowds. Yep.
Oh.
Got a few decent options here.
Yeah, you do. I think I will take your Herod the Great.
Yep.
Then I'll lay down David's Strongholds, and I guess I'll just pass turn to you.
Pass the turn. All right. Draw 3. Sure. I guess we'll do the star ability on Stricken here. Protect decks and reserves. During the battle phase, let's do. Activate Book of the Covenant. I suppose I should have moved my woes target here, but and Good Seed. Oh well. Book of the Covenant. We'll grab Send the Helper. Let's activate Send the Helper. And I am going to, I think, just go to battle here. If that's cool with you.
Yep.
I'm going to attack with Thaddeus. I'm going to convert him to Meek. And we'll shuffle your woes. And then with my Send the Helper trigger, I will take, I'll take Andrew from my deck, or from my reserve, sorry. And that's my attack.
And you activated Stricken this round, right?
Correct. Yep.
think this should work. I'm going to do it regardless. I'll block with Herod the Great, which I think pushes you out, and because your guys are protected, I can't pull someone in, right?
It would only push me out if you could pull someone in.
Oh, okay.
You can do something else if you want, but yeah, you'd
no,
have to.
no, I'll still block with him.
Okay.
But then I'll last for Dominish.
Let's see. Yeah, you can still do the random card from reserve. And
No, it's protected from your stricken.
oh, yeah. Good point. Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
All right, I'll play Glory.
Yep. Okay. So then I will go ahead and reserve my good seed to add a my New Testament human hero to battle. We'll add Peter, who will ban to Matthias. Convert Matthias to Meek to bounce Herod.
Okay.
And then, I guess he would actually go to my hand.
Oh.
And then I get to look at my top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. To owner top 9. I think I will take the. So I'll go on the bottom. Yeah, I'm gonna take 4 drachma coin. Yeah, just up to 1. All right, those are my abilities.
And then you can have this.
Cool. Let's go ahead and put down an artifact. I'm sure you have no idea what it could be. Put down Andrew. Put down Angel from the Sun. And I guess you already know about Herod the Great, so we'll just put him in territory, and we'll call it a turn.
All right. Oh, come on. Yeah, that sucks. Okay. I will start by activating Joshua's Covenant to exchange that for. Oh shoot! I should have done something else first. I will get Captain.
Sure. So I get a Thomas trigger.
Yep, that's what I should have dealt with first.
Let's go ahead and grab my Son of God.
And then I don't like it, but I guess I'll go for it. Rescue attempts with, or I'm good to move to. Am I good to move battle?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Rescue attempt with Captain. I will draw 2. I'll negate Herod, even though I know it doesn't do anything.
Yep.
Ban to Bears, who is negated.
Yep.
Okay. Well. Okay. Let's rescue attempt.
All right, so you're 1420. Oh, that's a bummer. My lying prophet can't discard captain anymore. I guess that's an upside of the change. Let's do. I guess we do Saul of Tarsus here. I'll go to my reserve for scattered.
All right. Before I pass initiative, I'm gonna play 3 woes as good.
You got it back, huh?
Yes.
Guess that was the risk I was taking.
Well, that's why I'm glad I didn't negate Thomas.
Oh, sure, yeah. Negating Saul, I take it.
Yeah.
All right. So
We're just gonna go ahead and put that back.
Yep.
I missed that. All right, now it's your initiative.
Okay. Let's see here. I think I just play this anyway, get some information here. I'm gonna play philosophy. And no good enhancements to negate, but I'll go ahead and discard a good card from your hand. Nothing too spicy here. But I guess probably just discard Amazing Faith.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. And then let's see. I'm a 6 attack. Oh. Yeah, it's probably not worth it. All right. I think that will be it for Saul then. He tried. You can have one of these illustrious tokens.
Oh man, you're not gonna give me the one that negates my characters.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I figured that probably wouldn't be in my best interest for some reason. I don't know.
All right, and then I will pass turn to you.
All right, from a 3. Don't think I need to do that. Okay, no stars, no more souls. Let's remember to do my upkeep triggers this time. Oh, I guess I missed my Judas off of your captain draw. Oops. Let's do 3 woes. It's good, so I guess I'll negate your Joshua's Covenant. And then let's do Book of the Covenant. We'll draw 1. And then let's go to prep phase. I will activate 4 drachma coin on Peter. And Book of the Covenant will go to reserve for Eternal Covenant. Go ahead and put down an artifact here in my just face down. Send the helper. Let's bounce my Matthias. And we'll go ahead and put him back down as not meek. Doesn't seem like I'm going to get to do what I wanted to do, but I think it's alright. I'm going to play I Am He is my territory class, and he has been for turn. I will reveal this Son of God that I grabbed last turn to protect lost souls and from evil cards and disciples from harm this turn.
Yeah.
And then I will go to battle, I believe. Who do we want to attack with here? I think we go this way. I'm going to do Angel from the Sun. Go to reserve for Philip of Bethsaida. And I will convert him to meek to take a disciple from my deck, which will be Simon. Send the helper trigger. We're going to take Disciples of the Lamb from reserve. Seems like it could be fun. And that is my attack.
Okay, so you are 12-8. It looks like it's it. Ooh. Okay.
I don't like that sound.
I don't know if it'll work, but it's at least something that I'm allowed to do.
All right, let's see it.
Yeah, I think I will block with. Oh no, that stupid Lost Souls there. Never mind, that doesn't work. Man, this sucks. And you still got your stupid Thomas.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I think I'm running low on good dominance.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, you still have Son of God New or Son of God Second Coming, so
Yeah.
You've only drawn 4 cards, right?
Correct. Yeah, my 3 for
Remember, and
turn,
I've
1
seen
from Book of the
this.
Covenant.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'll block with the Deceiver. Go to deck. See if I can find someone.
Sounds good.
Ooh. That doesn't help. That has a chance. Oh, he can be negated. He can be negated. Of course I can. And Lost Souls are protected from evil cards this turn.
Correct. Yep.
Well, I guess we'll go for Unconsenting King. Hopefully I can draw into something.
All right.
So I will draw 1. Very helpful. And then technically your Judas can trigger, but it won't matter.
Yeah, I suppose I would just look at your hand and then we'll see.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I guess technically it matters, though. In the grand scheme of the game, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I can just take your Great Dread here.
Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure I die.
Yeah, 5, 6.
Yep. And there you go.
Yeah, we'll play the big 2.
I'm pretty sure the only thing I could have drawn into there that would have saved me was some miracle enhancement or Christian Martyr.
Unsuccessful, something, I suppose. Yeah, Christian Martyr.
Unsuccessful is in my reserve. Christian Martyr was realistically the only reasonable hope I had.
I think, yeah, he would have still protected from that, though. So that was.
I guess Stricken would have kinda. Oh, you're right. Protect Disciples from harm. So.
Yeah.
So you're right. Christian Martyr was the only card in this deck that could have.
Well,
no, it says from harm. Yeah, never mind.
So protect from that too. Yeah. Yeah, I think
if you unfortunate.
Yeah, so you're not playing Saul of Tarsus then?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because if
it wasn't in the. I think this was Jay's deck that looked interesting that I tried, and I just haven't gotten around to editing.
Sure.
Anything.
Well, that's why you lost. You're playing Jay's deck.
Well, I like the offense. I just happen to not draw anything from it.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rough start. It looked like for the Joshua offense. Just
yeah, I got nothing. Well, that's not true. I got bears.
Yeah.
But even if I did get something, I need Joshua to have access to my reserve. But by the time I would have been able to get him, you were negating. Well, the other thing that hurt was you negate OT humans in battle, which
right. Yeah.
That's what really did it.
Yeah. I wonder.
Because what my moment was I was gonna go Arba, ban to Herod, and then I could technically push out Philip into Matthias. But even then, I don't think that would have helped.
Oh, well, yeah, because they're protected, then that's still.
Well, Matthias is Axe, so he's the only one I could pull in.
He's still a disciple though for I am he.
Oh, of course, yep.
Yeah. So yeah, there are too many layers. Yeah. Yeah, so what I was trying to do with, I mean, this was just a crazy fast start for this deck, which, I mean, Matthew can do that, but
yeah,
the whole the goal was actually for you to kind of find your Son of God and Second Coming early. I wanted to have enough annoying Lost Souls that you would want to play them sooner so that you could get ahead. and then I wanted to try to use Sow Reap and Rejoice because I feel like nobody's ever
I
actually used
had
this
that
card.
in my I had it in my Nats deck. I don't think it ever hit the table.
Sow Reap and Rejoice.
Yeah, other than no, well, that's not true. It hit the table when I was laying my cards down to shuffle everything.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just so bad because you know if you have to have fewer redeemed souls, which means you probably won't have played your dominance yet, but then you have to discard them.
Right.
So what I was trying to do is actually like go out with a smaller hero, play Prosperity first, just top deck my Son of God and Second Coming, then play Sow Reap and Rejoice to rescue the hero, and then use like 4 Drachma Coin or Denarius or something just to
just draw the
draw
cards
them.
you top deck back.
Yeah, draw them off the top and then play the dominance. But
Have
yeah,
you
I
had
think
that work in a game yet, or is it just you just put this deck together and
I just put this
that's what you were
together.
trying?
Yeah, that's what I was trying for this game, but it was I kind of was afraid of this possibility where like the disciples, just work.
Come out too fast.
Yeah. And like my defense wasn't, I mean, I'm playing all of the disciples, so like the defense is pretty small. So I think, if you had the right offensive draw, then yeah, you kind of.
But just from that snapshot that I saw in your hand, like it just looked kind of like jump blocks.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Which is weird. That Herod sounds like a jump block, but you push him out and then, I guess, yeah, no, it's.
Yeah, I mean, particularly turn 1, like Herod the Great with then just put Herod's Temple into play.
Right.
Is pretty good. And then I do have, actually, I don't think I put anything in reserve for Herod to play. I was going to say I have Duplicity, but yeah, I didn't put anything in here for him to play. But yeah, he was kind of a later ad, but I was like, it feels too strong not to have Herod in there if I'm running Herod's Temple.
He's just a good card because at minimum he's a 12-10. Choose the blocker, then toss. Like
right, yeah, and especially with I think decks that people are playing these days, like Joshua and I guess Warriors have David Stronghold to protect, but if people aren't playing as much Herod's Temple
and
or
even
GSC
then, like
offenses, you can protect or choose.
Right, because with David Stronghold, even then, like from what I remember of playing the Mighty Men, like there's not really any ways to search for it. So if you draw it, great, but if not, then like you don't really have a way to get there.
Right. Yeah, there's usually well, I guess sometimes they bring all of their heroes into battle, so there's no one left to choose, but usually it seems like there's 1 or 2 stragglers.
It's either typically 1 or 3. You either going with Ben and I, or you're going with Abishai and ban to a couple people.
Right, yeah. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, the Accusers was definitely the MVP of this game, and I happen to know that you weren't the only person to really get shut down by Accusers in their Lackey Grand Prix game today, because Tyler messaged me and said that was what cost him his game too.
I mean, it's just, if it was like OT humans or OT heroes, human heroes or whatever, would be passable. At least my defense would have functioned. But it was like, oh, I can do that. Oh, wait, no, I can't. Oh, I can do this. Oh, no, I can't.
Right. Yeah, and then like, there's an argument that I should have had like more acceleration lostals in here to just try to get stuff going, but I wanted to make sure I had like some of the most annoying lostals possible so that you'd actually be incentivized to drop your doms early. So that's why I've got, Distress and Accusers.
Yeah, well, Orphans, how much has Orphans been useful?
I haven't used it in a whole lot of decks, but I think, Woman of Thebes is just about everywhere, so since I'm not playing it in this deck, I was like, I think that's going to be a good one to, that'll be good bait, I guess, for people. Woman of Thebes and Moabites, I guess, the Subdued, it doesn't really help, but I suppose that would have been one that you could have drawn into, was Subdued. Oh, I suppose I could have played Son of God before. I don't know. If you're running Jay's list, then you've got Subdued in there, I assume.
Probably.
Though he had Arba in there. What is Arba doing? I mean, I guess it's just solid negate good cards like 12/12, but
yeah, Arba's someone like I have a couple in my reserve that I can give,
oh, okay.
but from what I'm noticing, there's not a whole lot to get those out of reserve to be able to then give.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because you have to take them, put them in play, and then be able to give them.
Right, because I'm if I want to get one of them with like Deceiver or something, then I'm sacrificing pulling out Foreign Wives.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I suppose there's one of them that gives from reserve, and then I guess Jabin bans to reserve. No, I guess a Himalek if you're, or not a Himalek, a Doni Bizek if you're running that one. That would be one that could get him out from reserve. But yeah, you're not quite fully into Canaanites, I guess. So you got like your Moabite Splash.
At some point, I'll rework the defense at minimum.
Yeah.
Offense is going to get tweaked, but minimum the defense is getting swapped. I like Herod's. The problem is Joshua now exists and just kind of stops all of what Herod does. Herod's do. So
yeah, I think shutting down Herod's temple so easily is definitely
well, but shutting it down, or if you don't, just like ignoring it or ignoring the Herod's protection on themselves.
Yeah, like Stone Carriers, just being able to bring in Captain after the fact is also nice. I think Herods do have some some tools that they
but like the biggest thing is like Joshua, who's like the core of their offense, is just Joshua enhancements are regardless of protects.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna say that like Overtaken, I think, is something that could help Herods against Joshua just because of like Stone Carriers and Captain, but I suppose even just with their regardless of protect, then they'd have to win a negate war, which doesn't seem super likely.
Mm-hmm.
But so did you play Teaching in Parables at some point, or did you?
No, that's one that I put in. I exchanged it for Joshua's Covenant.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Because I was kind of surprised on turn one when you put down Bearers, you put down Promised Land, and then I was expecting Teaching in Parables as a follow up to thin down my defense even more. But
I was trying to get something for offense, and it didn't work.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, because you did Joshua's Covenant to Promised Land.
Because at that time, Bearers was the only thing I had, so I wanted Captain to try to draw into something.
Yeah.
Because my thought was, all right, I go in and draw 4 cards, but I forgot that what's his face was Bearers was negated.
Yeah.
So he was there on the off chance I was allowed to play enhancements.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Which didn't
happen
because you had the woes to take out my scattered. Then you would have been able to. I mean, the only way I could have potentially blocked was like Stricken to reserve Captain, and then I give you initiative with Bearers. But then I didn't have anything else after that, so you would have had free reign, and you could have played both Faith of Joshua and Builder's Spear if you needed to. So
yeah.
All right. Well, good game. It was,
I gotta hop off.
MVP's accusers there for sure.
Oh yeah, it's obnoxious card for this deck specifically.
Yeah, for sure. And Mighty Men too. And although David Stronghold is one that I was kind of thinking like, if it was just your good OT warriors cannot be prevented. Like I feel like that might have been better, but I can see why they wanted to make it kind of more thematic, specific, I guess. But I guess Caleb and Stone Carriers are kind of the the needed anti-accusers cards.
Yeah, problem is I got nothing to be able to get Caleb from reserve.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I've been kind of going back and forth on Caleb in reserve with my Joshua decks. Like, I kind of want to have him in reserve because he's a great stone carrier's target once I run out of stuff in the main deck, but I don't know, having the CBP stuff is good, and the extra drawing is nice. But,
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, thanks for the game, and we'll catch you later.
Yep. I'll see ya.